Yu-Gi-Oh! The Idiot's Guide to Rush Duels, Beginner. Okay, I don't know much about Rush Duels. I know the general idea, what I've been told by chat. But I want to see like everything in order. Now, there is a chance that the rules have changed since this video came out, but I'm sure we're gonna get the general idea of it. So yeah, let's watch.
Hello there, it seems we're back again with a brand new format of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game.
I love this cat. I love this cat. I'm sorry, I just need to say it.
In fact, what formats have we had so far? Well, there's been the Master Rules Yu-Gi-Oh! For the big brain players, of course. There's the Speed Duels format, for those that want their duels to be a little bit quicker and slightly toned down. And I guess now we have the Rush Duels format, which are for the players that think Yu-Gi-Oh! Has become a little bit too rigid and needs something new and fresh for younger duelists to get them excited to duel. And hold on, if you think that sounded too critical, that's not my opinion. That's a direct quote from the main character of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime.
I can't. The more I love dueling, the more I felt that dueling had become rigid.
Yes!
What are you doing? What are they thinking doing this? What? That's Maxi. Wait, this is the actual game.
Yuga is literally taking a jab at the complexity of Master Rules Yu-Gi-Oh! I never thought I'd see the day. But let's be honest with ourselves, he's not exactly wrong. With Yu-Gi-Oh! Having so many rules, summoning mechanics, and 300 word count effects written on cards.
That's a meme card, that's Endymion. This video is from 2020. In 2020, what was the format like in the TCG and OCG? What was the format like? 2020. That's before. Well, there were links. But that's before tournaments, right? I don't know. Someone please let me know.
Rush Duels, it does seem like a nice change of pace. And seeing as how you're all here, I guess you'd like to learn all about this new style of dueling.
Are the cards bigger? I cannot tell anymore. I don't know what hands look like. Maybe my hands are weird. I don't know.
Well then, without further ado, I'd like to invite you to the Idiot's Guide to Rush Duels.
What is a Rush Duel?
First of all, what is a Rush Duel? Well, it's a new format of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game that made its debut in the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. It made its real-world debut in both the starter decks Yuga and Rook, as well as with the first support cards in deck modification pack, Hyperspeed Rush Road.
I think it's the image frame that is bigger. Oh, it's not the actual card. It feels like it's a card, but maybe I'm crazy. Don't look up how much that Magician Girl costs. I'm sure it's quite expensive.
Rush Duels is essentially aimed towards younger players, not necessarily to get them into Master Rules games like Speed Duels, but more so to serve as a simplified version of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game with less complex cards and less complex mechanics. There are 3 drastic new features to Rush Duels which separates it from its Master Rule heritage. These changes are new card designs, more simplified and streamlined effects, and brand new rulings for the flow of duels.
This is so crazy. This is so crazy. Google says 2020 was when they introduced Master Rule 5. Okay, but what were the meta decks at the time? That's what I was asking. Hello, Robin. Welcome.
Let's go over each one, shall we? Starting with
the new card designs. Well, I don't know if this matters.
So this is a Rush Duel card.
Look at that face! Look at that pose, dude! What is going on?
If you are a long-time Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan...
Wait, what is going on in here? What?
You will notice straight away that they are considerably different to what you're used to, yet pretty much exactly the same. The reason this is because nothing has been taken away. However, the card's design has had a full overhaul. I guess the phrase "don't fix what isn't broke" fits here, but basically the goal of the new design was to make the cards more attractive to the eye. As such, more vibrant colours are used, along with artworks having a slightly more cartoony look to them. If you compare an old school card to...
Oh, this definitely looks better in every single way.
to its Rush Duel equivalent, you can kind of see the difference here. Not only that, but the art frame and effect boxes have been increased, the attack and defense values are now color coded, and the stars that indicate a monster's level have all been merged together into a single star.
They are the same size. They are the same size. Dude, I wish this is what the game looked like. This looks way better.
With the number inside instead. One small yet big detail that has been changed is the fact that Rush Duel is also included on the backs of the cards to signify that this is, in fact, a completely different card game to that of Yu-Gi-Oh! And as such, these cards cannot be used in Master Rules Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, and there is one more thing.
No, you have to count the stars, bro. You have to take your time counting the stars.
There is also a unique type of Rush Duel card that features the word legend on it. However, we'll get to that one a little bit later. For now, let's take a look at the card effect changes.
New effects.
Alongside a revamped look, card effects have had a slight change too. No longer are effects and requirements to use those effects all written out together in a single paragraph. Now, effects are separated.
Dude, this is huge! This is huge for new players! I feel like cards need this. Like, we that are like super into Yu-Gi-Oh! We already get the idea of it, but I feel like for new players, like differentiating the requirement and the effect, it's like so much better. Like they don't show the stars of the levels, but I think the attack and defense should remain where they where are they now?
Into a requirement to use the card's effect, and also what the effect is. Let's use an example, shall we? Let's take Seven's.
Oh, that the attack is there? I think it's fine. I don't think it's a. I don't think. I mean, it's preference. I think it's preference.
Witch. Her effect has a requirement to use, which is requirement. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Effect, special summon one monster, level 7 or higher dark spellcaster from your hand, and if it is a 7's Road Magician, this card gains 400 attack until the end of this turn. This separation of cost and effect will greatly help younger duelists who might not know that colons and semicolons in card effects are actually a really big deal. Yep. Here's another example, this time the spell card, Shield and Sword. This card has no requirement, and as such, the requirement section says none. Its effect, though, is switch the original attack and defense of all face-up monsters currently on the field until the end of this turn. It is also worth mentioning that the requirement and effect happens simultaneously, which means you don't have to worry about missing the timings if spells or traps are chained to them. Since in Master Rule Yu-Gi-Oh, typically a cost would occur first, there'd be a little buffer period in between where stuff can get activated in between, and then the effect would happen, but sometimes because stuff happened in between, the card would miss its timing. We don't want none of that in Rush Duels. Simple. Everything happens together. Oh, and there's one more thing to know about the effects in Rush Duels, and that is every Rush Duel card has a built-in once per turn to its effect. This once per turn is not written anywhere on the card, but it's something that must be obeyed to play the game. All this really means is that every card doesn't have to have once per turn written on it, which is a waste of space. Instead, just make it a part of the core rules of the game, and it's just applied to everything.
Every single card is once per turn? Wow.
A clever move in my opinion. Oh, and to clarify, this is a soft once per turn, by the way, not a hard once per turn. Without getting too much.
Oh, I assume hard once per turn actually have it written there. Interesting. A Sky Striker in shambles. There is no Sky Striker in Rush Duels, right?
The difference is, this means that, let's say, if you have 3 of the same monster on the field, this means that all 3 could use their effects once each. Or as another example, if a monster uses its effect and then is removed from the field or flipped face down and then returned back into its face up position, then you would be able to use its effect again since it's a soft once per turn. Honestly,
nice. It's not that Master is a waste of space, but that Konami needed to nerf cards' ability to abuse in format with no mana. Yes.
if you don't know too much about hard and soft once per turns in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's something you could definitely do some research on. Or maybe that could be a future Idiot's Guide video. So far, the changes aren't too drastic. Well, here's where things get shaken up a bit.
The new rules.
Basically, Rush Duels rules are a polymerization of Master Rules and Speed Duels with some big differences thrown in. Let's go through them. Your deck size must be between 40 and 60 cards.
Okay.
You begin a duel with 8,000 life points. There are 3 monster zones, 3 spell and trap zones, a deck, field, graveyard, and extra deck zone on the field. The phases of Rush Duels consist of only the draw phase, main phase, battle phase, and end phase.
And there is no links, right? Because there is no extra monster zone? Question mark?
Meaning the standby phase and main phase 2 are gone. When a duel begins, you both start with 4 cards, and the first player to go begins by drawing a card. Here comes a big one. You can normal summon, normal set, and tribute summon as many times as you want in a single turn.
Wow.
Yes, there is no limit. If you want to normal summon 3 monsters, go for it. If you'd like to then tribute them for a bigger one, then go right ahead. This ruling right here is one of the biggest hooks to Rush Dueling, and it is the reason for its Rush style.
Wait, there is no XCs or synchros? Interesting.
There's another big one as well, and well, it's the fact that during your draw phases, you draw until you have 5 cards in your hand.
What?
And all those resources you just used last turn, doesn't matter. You get a fresh hand next turn. Honestly, it's amazing to draw a full hand every single one of your turns. There is of course an exception to this. If you already have 5 cards in your hand, instead then you would simply draw only 1 card, as you normally would in Yu-Gi-Oh! On top of this as well, there is no hand size limit in Rush Duels.
Oh,
but
wow.
decking out in Rush Duels remains the same. If you would attempt to draw but don't have enough cards left to reach the 5 card hand, then that means that player loses the duel.
The only extra deck monsters in Rush Duels is fusion and rituals. It's so interesting to have rituals in the extra.
Lastly, there is in fact a new type of card known as a legend card, which is indicated by this legend symbol on it. Any deck is only allowed to contain a maximum of 1 legend card.
Okay.
Ironically, at the time of this video, there's only 1 in existence, which is Blue Eyes White Dragon, meaning only this legend card can be played in your deck, and no other legends. And with those rulings, the rest are pretty much identical to that of regular old Yu-Gi-Oh! Though there may be a couple more deviances I've missed and possible changes in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, that concludes your introduction to Rush Dueling. Let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. Would you consider giving Rush Dueling a go? Not that you'd be able to, since Rush Duels aren't coming out internationally, allegedly, but regardless, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and goodbye.
Good video, good video, good video. Now I've learned things. That was awesome. I want to. I wish there was like an official way of doing it, because I know that Duel Links version is kind of different. So yeah.